Terrence Crawford, Ismail Madrimov. What your thoughts about the fights? Lots of people are talking about, hey, Terrence Crawford moved up to 54. Canelo Alvarez said, hey, Terrence Crawford knows how it tastes to be at 154. He knows now. He knows now. What do you think? What do you think about the performance? A lot of people were saying that it should have went the other way. I don't know. Talk to me. What's your thoughts on
Um, I never got an impression that the fight should have went the other way. I
it?
thought Crawford won the fight. I thought he didn't beat him up. He didn't dominate, but I thought his jab and his ring generalship won him the fight. I thought he won the fight basically with his jab, with his southpaw jab. Um, I don't know. I guess because he fought the perfect fight versus Earl Spence and he was so dominant, people's minds was fixated on that. Anything less than that, they look at it as being exposed or
Right.
struggling and things like that. But it's very hard to fight a perfect fight two times in a row against world class opponents. Especially very hard to do it and when you haven't fought in over a year. I've seen guys fight perfect fights, but they're on a continuous schedule. Like Manny Pacquiao, remember he had a series of perfect fights on pay-per-view. Like I think it was
Back to
David
back to
Diaz,
back.
then Oscar De La Hoya, then Ricky Hatton, then Miguel Cotto. I mean, his was crazy. It was ridiculous. Pernell Whitaker had a few when he won the lightweight title, but it's hard to fight perfect fights back to back to back, especially off of a year layoff. So I didn't expect Crawford to be perfect, to be completely flawless. You know what I mean? I didn't expect that. So I thought it was a tactical fight. Um, Madrimov was using a lot of feints. He didn't engage because he knows Crawford is a counterpuncher. So he limited Crawford's counterpunching opportunities. I thought he did a good job of that. I didn't think he was scoring enough points while he was limiting his counterpunching opportunities. So I think that that's where the trouble um, came in for Madrimov as far as being able to score points. Crawford didn't really beat him up either, but Crawford was landing his jab, which was to me was the controlling punch of the fight. So I thought Crawford won a technical fight.
Now, was it how did you have it? Like, how did you have the scorecards?
I wasn't scoring with a pen and pad. I honestly wasn't, but when I was watching the fight, I'm like, damn, why did everybody think Crawford lost? What happened?
Right.
That's how I thought. I was like, wow, maybe I think they overcompensating for Crawford not knocking him out or busting him up really, really bad. I thought he was winning the fight with his jab, naked eye, maybe 8-4. I thought Madrimov landed some nice right hands. I mean, that was a telling punch. He was landing a lead right hand and it was kind of snapping Crawford's head back. That's
Hmm.
something that Crawford is gonna have to adjust to moving forward because people are gonna see him. People are gonna see that right hand was landing. A guy like Canelo, who's a little sharper than Madrimov, he would have to be real careful with that. But that was a good shot. But Crawford was landing his shots too. I didn't see all of the controversy, man. Maybe the zone got to put another video of it out nice and clear, and I just watch it again because I didn't see all of that. To be honest with you, I saw one guy um, using a lot of feints, a lot of movement to kind of throw Crawford off, but he wasn't scoring points off of it really. And then
Okay.
he got into a little groove in the mid rounds. And then, but Crawford, I never looked at Crawford and thought that he lost more than 2 rounds I never thought he lost 2 rounds in a row. I never thought the fight like got to a point where I'm like, oh man, Crawford's in trouble. I never got that impression. And then Crawford closed strong. Even Madrimov fans think that Crawford won 11 and 12. So I don't know.
If it was a draw, would you think that they stole it from Crawford?
I wouldn't have agreed with it. I'm not
Hmm.
going to. Yeah, I wouldn't have agreed with it. But what I like to do is I'm not a person that falls into the cliches of boxing and just repeat some of these ridiculous myths that go on. Close fights can be robberies if a clear round that should have went my way goes your way. That's a robbery. So you can have a 7-5 fight, 115, 113. That's a robbery if the correct rounds don't go right. So I don't like to see just the total score. I want to see the breakdown of the rounds. That's
Okay.
really important. That's much more important than the overall score because like there might be a specific round where it's like no way that the other guy could have won. And if that guy get that round, it's like
You
I'll give
can't
you
say
an
it's a
example.
swing round. You can't say it.
You can't say it. You got it. You can't use that excuse. I'm gonna give you an example. Let me give you an example. Felix Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya.
Mm.
I've been on your show plenty of times. You know Trinidad was one of my favorite fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he lost to Oscar De La Hoya. I'm gonna be
I,
honest.
yeah, I
And
did too.
Trinidad's
Tito, I'm
my
sorry. Yeah,
Cheeto is my guy.
that's my
Like
guy too.
that's my guy. Like I think he would run rampant over this current era of junior middleweights and
Mm-hmm.
most of the welterweights. But I love Tito. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought Oscar beat him. I'm be fair. Oscar had his number that night. But a judge gave Oscar the 12th round. One of the judges gave Oscar the 12th round. In my opinion, he gave Oscar the 12th round because the fight would have looked too far because he had Tito up by too much. So it wouldn't have
Okay.
looked right if Tito would have won the 12th round and won the fight by like 4 or 5 points because it would have been like, God damn, Tito lost like 6 or 7 of the first rounds and then he came on late. How the hell do you have him up by so much? So he overcompensated. So it wasn't just his scorecard, it was the round that he gave Oscar. He gave Oscar the 12th round, and Oscar didn't throw no punches in the 12th round. Got what I'm saying? So I look at things like that.
100%. No, 100%. So, I mean, do you need to see Terrence Crawford, possibly go up to 160, maybe fight some more 54 pounders before entering a fight with a Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds?
No. You know why? Because he's about to be 37.
Mm.
He's about to be 37.
So that building that body is
No,
not.
no. I mean, if he keeps fighting these kind of guys, he'll eventually take a loss. You know what I'm saying? He's a great fighter. He's a human being. You know what I mean? He's a human being. He proved he's a human being. He's a great all-time great fighter, one of the best fighters I've ever seen. But I mean, how many fights does he need to build for Canelo Alvarez at 37 years old? Really? He run into the wrong young kid at 160 or 168, he can lose. You know what I mean? Like I love Crawford. Bro, he ain't beating David Benavidez. That's too much mass, too much size, and too much skill. He not beating him. You know what I'm saying? So he gotta be careful. He just can't fight anybody at 68 for a tune-up. Like, I think he could beat a lot of guys at 60, but like, would he really want to chance himself with the dude Johnny Beck? Would you really want to go through that before Canelo when you can just get through Canelo? Because it's a training camp. It's the punishment. It's a lot of things on your body to go through. Like,
That's the first name I say when I compare that. I'm like, do you want to go to 160 to fight Janabek? Like, that's a tough
listen,
fight.
if he did it, I would give him his props. But man, a lot of these guys, when they get to a certain point in their career, they need to be turned on. They need to be turned on by the opponent and on that particular night. You read what Ray Leonard said? He said, man, I didn't want to come back and just lose to anybody. I wanted to fight Hagler. I didn't want to do a tune-up. I knew I was rusty, but I couldn't get up in camp for just any old guy. So even though Johnny Beck's a good fighter and Crawford is the ultimate professional, he ain't gonna push his buttons the way Canelo would. So if I'm Crawford, I know that people may think that he can't handle Canelo at 168 because he had a tough time with Madrimov. But I'm not saying he shouldn't unify 154. That would be great. That would be historically, you know, a significant thing that he did.
Or, yeah,
But,
undisputed.
but I wouldn't have a problem with him going straight to Canelo because that would turn him on. That would get the best out of him. You guys don't realize this, man. Camps are a grind, bro. They get boring, they get monotonous, they wear you down. Camps are a grind. And it's hard to go through camp for just anybody,
Mm.
especially when you feel, you know what I mean? These guys, they're human beings. They get bored. Their minds start playing tricks on them. You know what I mean? You need a fire up under you when you've done what Crawford has done and made the money that he made. So if Canelo is the guy who turns them on and can bring the best out of them in camp, then so be it. I wouldn't have a problem if he went straight to Canelo, win, lose, or draw.
If not Canelo, who would it be? I mean, do you like the unification with Fundora? Do you like a Charlo fight? What's the fight that you want to see?
Those are all good fights. Charlo brings a lot of money, and I think they got bad blood between each other, don't they?
Absolutely.
Um, Tim Zoo is a great fight. Um, I don't know who the hell wants to fight Fundora at 6'6", but that's a great fight. Who's the
Who do you
other
favor in
champion?
that fight? Who do you favor in that fight? Fundora and Terrence Crawford.
Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, too much skill, too much speed, too much a lot of everything.
Body punching.
Body
They get,
punching. Ooh.
they get to his body. It will get to his body. Crawford, one of the best body punchers that in this era. He's a
But
great
you
body
still got to
puncher.
deal with Fundora's uppercuts in the same time.
I know, but I would take Crawford. Crawford throws. He knows how to whip and loop his shots over and under, and he
So
will
you see
really hit.
Crawford being the bully in that fight.
Yeah, I see him being not only the bully, not the bully so much. I just think that the precise body punching would have an effect on Fundora.
Now we